Welcome to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main, president of Main Financial Group, as well as joined by Adam Freund, CRC at Main Financial Group. To our viewers at home, today's show is very special. We're going to dedicate our entire episode to Jordan's new book. You don't want to miss this, The Main Street Millionaire. These are real stories. These are examples of people that have done really well with saving strategies, and it's a roadmap, if you will, on how you can get through your retirement. We're going to do a deep dive into each chapter in Jordan's book today, so thank you for being with us. I could not be more excited about this book. Jordan, how are you today?
I am very excited, and this is the first episode that we've ever done solely on our new book, so I'm ready to jump in for sure. How are you?
I'm so excited. I'm fantastic. Thank you for asking. We're all in blue today in honor of your new book. Have you noticed that? I love it. Adam, how are you?
Well, in that case, I'm feeling blue.
Don't be blue. Be sad. Be happy, not sad. Yeah, no, don't be sad.
Okay, I'll be sad. That's fine.
No, don't be sad. Be happy. But before we dive in, let me ask you, out of both of you, which would be more likely to go into a gas station and just grab 5 snacks at random that you really don't need? Out of the two of you, who would that be?
Where do you come up with these questions?
Yeah.
I stay up a lot thinking.
Well, I know I cannot fly without stopping to buy licorice nibs. You know the little nibs? It's like I've got to have my nibs on the plane. So that's just one snack, though. But
I don't know if I have 5 snacks, but I like a good Mountain Dew when I'm on the road. Yeah. It's refreshing.
You can tell we both love sugar. You can just tell.
I mean, what else are you going to eat? Potato chips going to get all over the car. Mountain Dew, there you go.
Licorice and
What
Mountain
about
Dew,
you?
there you go.
Good point,
grab
good point.
stuff on a road trip?
If I had to pick one candy, I'd probably go with a Raisinette because it's chocolate with fruit. You're getting the best of both, right? Isn't that relatively healthy?
Sure.
I think it is.
There you go.
Well, I am so excited about this book. Let's just talk a little bit about this because I know that this is just brand new. People are excited to come into the office to really get to know you both one-on-one, of course, but they're so excited to receive a copy of this book. And when you talk about it, let's talk about the beginning, the opening section. Jordan, what can people find when they're first opening up this book?
Yeah, you know, I wanted to, after 25 plus years in this industry, and Adam has been along my side a lot of those years, and we talked about how can we compile a guide of everything that we've learned, right?
Yeah.
And what we've noticed over years is that it seems like the really wealthy people get all the breaks, right? So I grew up with parents of school teachers. Adam as well came from what we call Main Street. Main Street would be all of us normal people.
Right.
Wall Street are the corporations and the billionaires and what have you. They would always take advantage of great tax loopholes and all these different investment strategies. And I said, how can we bring those ideas to the common folk like us so that they can improve on what they're doing? So it's just about 300 pages. And right away, we jump into client stories about how simple little moves that the clients could do to dramatically impact their retirement and their future, whether that be from a tax standpoint or a portfolio management standpoint or an income planning. Biggest fear of retirees is that we screw up and live too long and outlive our money, right? We just had the oldest woman in the world just died at 117.
Wow.
So the book, even for people that have advisors, you can read this book and take some of the concepts back to your current advisor.
Absolutely.
We really go across every aspect of someone's financial life.
And I just want to point out, because we've had a couple people ask, this is not an autobiography about Jordan Main.
Yeah,
This is for the everyday people out there, as Jordan says, the Main Street people. And yes, you can be a millionaire. That number doesn't really mean anything to us. It really doesn't, because the number is the number, right? It's all about what kind of retirement do you want to have?
Right.
What are how do we get there? How's the planning done?
Yeah.
How about taxes? How about income? How am I going to make sure that I don't screw up and live
the whole
too long?
idea, we look at everyone's financial life cycle like climbing a mountain. Right? So on the way up the mountain are your working years, your accumulation years, right? And that's your money's going into all your accounts and you're saving or what have you, raising children maybe. And as you get to the top of the mountain, now you're getting close to retirement. You've got all these clouds of money, 401ks, pensions, Social Security, what do IRAs, what do I do? Ross, what do I take out first? But getting down the mountain is actually retirement. And that's distribution.
Yeah.
And you have to change your fundamentals and your principles to get down the mountain safely. over 90% of all the deaths in mountain climbing actually happen on the way down. Because
true.
people use the same fundamentals and principles as they used on the way up.
Right.
And a lot of financial advisors specialize in accumulation, but not distribution. Putting
Yes.
a plan together that gets you down the mountain income-wise, that avoids tax bombs and stock market bombs.
Right.
How do we put that together? So Adam helped me write this. Let's give, it's not all on me. He did a great job as well. As a team, we wrote this book, and it's really a financial planning, a retirement guide that I think everyone can benefit from.
We just used Jordan's name because he's way more famous than I am.
And he does sign it when people come in, which I think is
and
awesome.
no one wanted to read Main Street Millionaire. It doesn't make any sense. Main Street
Sigmund
Millionaire.
Freud.
What's that? Yeah, right. No, Sigmund Freud.
That's not true. The Shermanator would pick up a copy.
There you go. Yeah, that's great. I got a face my mom could love.
We do have a radio show, and we have faces for radio.
Yeah, we do.
I love something that you both say. This is amazing. Wealth is created through behavior, not brilliance. Behavior, not brilliance.
Yeah.
Where does that come from? That's one of the things that I pulled from the book.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about people's mindsets. You have to have priorities. You have to have an ability to understand living within your means. These are things that these aren't new. It's not like we're telling something to the people out there that's new. This isn't new. You have to be disciplined. You have to do the things the right way. We hate debt, just like most people, but there is actually some good debt out there.
I think avoiding major mistakes is more important than hitting home runs.
Yes.
If you look at your investment portfolio, right?
Okay.
And as a baseball guy, to think about it, a lot of people want to try to hit home run, but if you just get on first base every time, walk or a base hit, the runners will eventually move and score.
Yep.
So the idea to a successful retirement plan is not trying to hit Bitcoin at 90,000 and take it up to 100 and some thousand.
Or NVIDIA.
Or NVIDIA or
yeah.
some of these other ones, Palantir. It's about avoiding the big loss and avoiding the big mistake, whether it be a tax bomb or stock market loss or living too long and you haven't accounted for that income or not planning for long-term care.
Buying high and selling low.
Oh, I don't like that. We're supposed to be the other way.
Completely the other way. But what do people do? They chase whatever's happening in the media or whatever happening now. That's what they do. They keep chasing these things. And you can't do that. You have to have a plan before, during, and even after retirement.
Right. I agree wholeheartedly. And at the end of the day, it's about just not screwing up and making a mistake. Yeah. Keep what you have. You've got to retirement. Preserve your wealth. Figure out an efficient plan to get down the mountain, and then pass it on efficiently to your kids.
Absolutely.
And get rid of those what we call eroding factors.
And talk about that aha moment when someone realizes that they too can be a millionaire. It just takes the proper planning. What does that feel like for the people that have read the book and have come into the office, the aha moment?
Well, I mean, the smiles on their face, the relief. It really is a relief when all of a sudden they realize, well, wait a second, if I just kind of shift this around and do this and follow this type of plan, then all of a sudden, okay, retirement isn't scary, or leaving a legacy isn't scary, or how do I get rid of taxes? It isn't scary. It's just trying to do everything in a proper order and do it, as you said, not screwing up, making a mistake.
There's a huge difference from an income plan to an income guess.
I've heard that before.
And when you actually have a roadmap, a written financial plan, and Adam held up our RIP report, which stands for Risk, Income, Portfolio Health, and Tax Planning. Those are the four things we think should be in every person's financial plan.
Right.
Then all of a sudden, as Adam said, we can go out and do all the things we want in retirement. There is an unknown. The stock market's down 10% today, or the government just changed the tax law, because you've accounted for everything in your written financial plan. Right. A lot different than a guess, because the what do they call that? The 4% rule. Oh. Stockbrokers of old, back in the day of Dean Witter and
portfolio theory.
Yeah, the modern portfolio theory. Just keep all your money in the exposed in the market. Take out 4% of your account, and you'll never run out of money. Well, the 2000 to 2010 decade destroyed that, and the creator of the modern portfolio theory came out and said, well, it's probably more like 2%, not 4%. Yeah. So having a written financial plan is imperative for everyone's retirement.
Yep.
And Jordan, very special message you have for the viewers at home. Talk a little bit about your book, please, before we open up the next for commercial break.
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone that comes in, call the number, click the QR code. We're going to give them 2 free things. That's right. It's free. So we're giving you a copy of our new book. That it's just under 300 pages, but it's a great read. Usually, you'd say 300 pages is not an exciting read for financial topics, but I think there's a lot of great stories. And we'll put together your own customized financial plan. We call it the RIP report. The R, risk. How fast or slow do you want to drive your portfolio? The I is income, as we talked about in this section. Do we have an income plan or an income guess? The P is your health of your portfolio. What are you paying in fees? What sectors are you investing in? Are you outpacing the indexes? And then the T is Uncle Sam, one of my favorites. How do we get him, Uncle Sam, out of our pocketbook in retirement? We'll put together a customized financial plan for you.
Yep.
Jordan, thank you so much. Adam, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call, 888-462-7839. Or you can grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. You're calling in to schedule your appointment with Adam and with Jordan so that they can design the RIPT report for you. We're going to take a very short commercial break here on the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. When we come back, we're going to dive into the second part of the book, which actually uncovers more details about the RIPT report. Stay tuned.
I started out actually going to college, and I was going to be a music teacher. I realized very early on, like at the end of my first semester, that it just was not for me. Fast forward many years later, my parents are educators. My dad quit being a teacher and became a real estate and commercial real estate. And after I graduated college, I decided I would go and work for him. And what I really liked was helping people make money. And I realized that that was more my calling than actually selling real estate. So I ended up getting into the financial advising world. It was a big jump, but it was the fact that I was going to be helping people rather than selling people. And that makes a huge difference in my mind. I have enjoyed it tremendously. When you can tell a client, hey, guess what? You can retire. It's one of the best days of my life right there. It's not about my goals. It's not about my office's goals. It's about their goals. It's their money. We need to educate them in order for them to continue to live in a manner of which they become accustomed. Selling is terrible. Educating, getting people to understand why we need to do it this way and consult with them, that's the way to do it.
Welcome back to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main and Adam Freund of Main Financial Group. And today's show is dedicated to Jordan and Adam's new book, The Main Street Millionaire. It's all about everyday tips that you can utilize to make sure that you have peace of mind in your retirement years. Gentlemen, I love this next section because this really does a deep dive into the RIPT report, which, starting with the first one, letter R, why is it so important to understand someone's risk?
Well, I mean, that kind of drives everything moving forward, right? So if you're, it's what we call that the uncle point. And, you know, remember when you were a kid, you used to twist your, uncle. Okay, so what's your uncle point in terms of your investments? What does that mean to you? How much risk do you want to take on? How much are you comfortable with? We actually have a test. I think it's 11-question test.
Oh, yeah.
And it's mfgrisktest.com, mfgrisktest.com. You go there and you'll get a score. And the score is from 1 to 100. Have you ever seen a 1?
Never.
I've never seen 100.
Wow.
So someplace in there, you'll get a number. But the real question is, what is your portfolio number? What is it driving at? So if you test out at a 25, you're comfortable with like the side streets, right? Yeah. Driving on the side streets. But if your portfolio tests out, because we run it through the same software, at an 88, oh, there's a big disc.
And I would say 9 times out of 10 that people come in and go through this process,
oh, yeah,
they get their risk score and they say, yeah, that's kind of what I would comfortable driving my portfolio. But then when we run their actual portfolio through it, they are taking on either way more or way less risk than they thought.
Wow.
So it's a two-pronged thing. Make sure that you get what you want your risk to be, but also make sure your portfolio is actually driving at that speed. And ask me about age, Adam.
Well, I think age has a huge part in it, doesn't it?
Hogwash.
What?
I don't think, they always, these teachings were, as you get older, you should be more conservative, and you're younger, right? You should be more aggressive because you're more time. After all these years in the business, I don't believe that to be true.
Okay.
And let me give you 2 examples.
Okay.
2 clients, and we'll use alias names. So
There you go.
Marjorie, she is 88 years old, never married, no children, has about $5 million with us, goes to the casino 3 days a week, and on a scale of 1 to 100 is a 90. Very aggressive person, wants to do a lot of high-level investing and stock options and other things. Conventional wisdom would say Marjorie should be more conservative, but it's her own tolerance, right? And on the flip side, we have Trevor, who is in his 30s.
Yeah.
He inherited a trust from granddad's farm. And he has it all in protected fixed income type of programs. So on a scale of 1 to 100, like a 10, because he doesn't want to lose a penny of granddad's money from the farm.
Wow.
Conventional wisdom would say, geez, young man, you're young, you could take on more risk. So it has nothing to do with your age or what an advisor tells you. It should be what your own comfort level is for risk.
And it's in here. I mean, we actually talk about those stories in this book. So
I love that. Again, it's just breaking the mold of what people think and looking
Exactly.
at it from a different perspective. Income, let's shift to I, because income is a big one, so important. Adam, why is income important?
Well, income is the outcome.
Yes.
Right? You cannot retire without income. Think about that, right? You have Social Security, that's an income. If you're lucky enough to have pension, that's an income. But in order for you to continue the way that you've become accustomed to, you need to have some sort of income stream. That stream of money that you know will pay for at least the basis of your living expenses. And you need to make sure that that money continues to keep up with inflation. Because, I mean,
right.
we're talking 30-year, 30-year mortgages. We're talking about 30-year
Wait a minute, now we're going to have 50-year mortgages.
Yeah,
That's true. Heard that too.
But you have the 30-year retirement. I know that 30 years ago, the cost of candy, like we talked about at the
Yes.
beginning of, or a Mountain Dew was 25 cents.
Yeah.
Right.
And now look at it.
It's true.
Right. And I think being efficient with your income is even more important, or at least as equally as important. An example, we had someone that came in that was a prospective new client, and he had a plan put together. And his current advisor, he had $2 million, and the income drawn was going to be 2% a year. So what's that? That's $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
We did some analysis and using some different tools. With $1 million, we could generate $80,000.
Yeah.
Wow.
Twice as much income that was guaranteed for life
Okay.
on half as much money.
And what does
Wow.
that do? It frees up the other $1 million to do whatever we want to do with it, whatever he
Either more income or other type of investment strategy. So efficiency is so key by using the right tools for the right situation in retirement planning.
Most definitely. And the next one, portfolio. Talk a little bit about P, portfolio, blending growth with protection. Why is that important?
Well, I think it's the overall health of your portfolio, and I think there are really 4 key areas, because look at all these, things. Let's start with sectors. There's 11 sectors that you track right now. I know there's some subsectors, but things like healthcare and technology and AI and all these different things within technology. What sectors are you really investing in?
Yeah.
AI is one of the most overbought sectors right now. How about energy? One of the best performers is one of the most underbought right now.
Yep.
We look at that. How about fees? Doesn't our industry do a great job at hiding fees, back-end fees, annual fees that are hidden? What is your all-in real cost of fees? We can help you find that out. What about your performance versus the benchmarks?
Yeah. That's the biggest.
What are the benchmarks? The indexes. We've all heard of these indexes,
Yeah.
right, Cynthia? S&P, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, the Russell, all these different
And
indexes.
what do we find? Most of the time when people come in, they give us their portfolio. We run it through Morningstar, which is out of Chicago. We have no
The
say in the
J.D.
matter.
Powers of investing.
The J.D. Powers of our industry. So they just take a look at what it is that they're investing. They come back, they give us this report. Sometimes it's 200 pages. But the most interesting thing is the performance, because they will create a custom benchmark. We have no say in the matter whatsoever.
It always follows the market.
It always follows the market.
So
it's
that's-
passive investing.
It's a
Yes,
passive investing,
yes.
which is roller coaster investing. Cedar Point, we've talked about that
Yes.
in other episodes. It's like
Yes.
going up and down on the roller coaster. But the 4th point on the portfolio would be the stock overlap. So what does
Yes.
that mean? Mutual funds, if you have a lot of 401ks of mutual funds, they're just buying a bunch of stocks for you. You might have 10 different mutual funds, but they may be buying most of the same stocks.
Right.
So do a deep dive into all those funds to make sure you understand what you're really investing in.
All right. I want to save T T for the final one because we have to take a very short commercial break. Would that be okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sure.
All right. The number on your screen to call folks at home is 888-462-7839, 888-462-7839. What you're calling in today for is to book the consultation with Jordan and Adam, and you will receive your very own Ripped report. This will be customized just for you with your specific financial needs for your retirement. And even better, we're also going to make sure that you get a copy of Jordan and Adam's new book, The Main Street Millionaire. We're going to take a very short commercial break to save time. Once again, that number is 888-462-7839. We'll be right back momentarily. Stay with us.
A recent article shared the story of a 63-year-old planning to retire early until the markets dropped. Watching years of his hard work get impacted overnight caused him to rethink everything. It's a scenario more common than you may think. Volatility is a part of investing, but your retirement shouldn't hang in the balance. You need a strategy designed to weather storms, one that blends protection and growth. This can help keep your future on track, no matter what the headlines say.
Welcome back to the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street. My name is Cynthia DeFazio, joined today by Jordan Main and Adam Freund of Main Financial Group. Gentlemen, I do want to do the T because I know it's so important to cover that before we dive into the final section of the book. So taxes. Talk a little bit about why taxes is so important with the Ripped report. Adam?
Well, I wish we knew somebody that knew all about taxes.
What?
Jordan?
Yeah, I think this is probably the most overlooked planning sector or section and most advisors' financial plans.
Yep.
What do they normally say, advisors? Oh, go talk to your
CPA.
Your CPA. The CPA says, I'm so busy doing tax preparation, go back and see your broker, your advisor, and it's ping pong back and forth. So we spend a lot of time on Roth IRAs, one of the best tools out there for, I'm going to make that statement that everyone should consider looking into a Roth IRA. Converting dollars from your 401k IRA into a Roth or putting new money into a Roth. These are tax-free vehicles. We've got a great tax calculator, maintaxbuild.com, and it will allow you to plug in your age and your tax bracket that you want to look at, your growth rate of return, how much you have in your retirement accounts, and it'll actually tell you if you convert, this is what you'll pay, convert to a Roth that is, or if you don't, and you live to, is it 95?
95.
95, how much you'll actually pay in taxes with that tax bomb, we call them, the IRS or the IRAs. So the Roth is such a key portion to that tax planning in retirement, because if you're making $100,000 a year out of a Roth IRA, we don't pay any tax on that. We don't pay, that doesn't trigger Social Security tax, and it doesn't trigger extra Medicare tax. Versus if we're taking $100,000 out of our IRA, that's all ordinary income and goes into that calculation.
Wow.
Roth.
So, and it's in this book. I mean,
Okay.
again, we talk about it ad nauseum, but we bring up stories and examples, and it's a very easy read. And again, it's not written for people that are in our industry. It's written for doctors and teachers and engineers and anybody that really is out in the world that wants to know more about it.
Right, and we're in the third lowest tax environment in our nation's history, and the bandwidth between each bracket is ginormous. Is that a word, ginormous?
I use it.
You do? Okay. And you know, it's over what, $760 some thousand before you get to the highest bracket. Meaning there is an argument to do Roth conversions now. No matter what your age are. We did Roth conversions for in mid 80s. The Shermanator is looking at it. The famous Shermanator, Adam's dad. And so we love the Roth IRAs because going forward, it's never taxed again.
Amazing, amazing. Well, this final section, I want to spend some time talking about segment 3 of the book, of course, legacy, long-term care, the final roadmap. Talk a little bit about that. Why is that so important to cover in the Main Street Millionaire? Legacy planning.
Yeah. I think it's once you have your own income met, now we have to tackle the estate planning, the legacy, right? Because one of the worst things you can do is give your retirement account to your kids. You know, it's a tax bomb. Why? Because they have to pay income tax, ordinary income tax, on the money that you didn't use in retirement. If you don't need that money, put it into some type of tax-free plan, whether that be a Roth IRA or what we call an IRA legacy plan. You know, we've used this dark analogy before, but giving your kids a big retirement account is like paying for your daughter's wedding and then handing her the tax bill,
Yes.
the bill for the wedding that comes along with it. And that's what you're doing. Here's your retirement account, but here's a big tax bill that comes with it. So once we have the needs met of our clients, we then go to work on making sure their kids don't have any of those issues.
Yeah, and I think long-term care is another section that we talk about too a lot in the book, because let's face it, long-term care, the likelihood of us having some sort of need for long-term care is greater. I guess that's good because medicine is keeping up and keep giving us longer, but
And you know, we talked about this on our radio show the other day. For those that don't know, every Saturday morning we're on AM 910
from
9 to 10.
Woo.
So catch us every Saturday. Like, we have got faces for radio, so we do a good job there. But the interesting thing, back to long-term care, I know we don't have a lot of time left, is, you know, the average stay in the long-term care is, I read it the other day, about 2.8 years.
2.8.
And right now, at least in Metro Detroit, it's upwards of $150,000 a year per person. So if you have a husband and a wife in there, that's $300,000 a year.
Wow.
I'm not great at math, but what's 300 times 2.8? You know, almost 800,000. So that is a major chunk out of a portfolio if it isn't planned for accordingly. So we spend a lot of time with that as well on our clients to make sure you're protected from long-term care and your kids' inheritance is protected as well.
And by the way, we don't like straight out long-term care insurance, not the old kind. We like asset-based long-term care, or there are other ways to get some long-term care, or covering what they call the 6 activities of daily living. And it's a low threshold to cross that so that you can start at home. Most people don't want to start off in a nursing home to get long-term care.
true.
They want to start at home.
And I think the point is that this book brings it all together. And this word that is one of the comments, we got a lot of great comments back and some testimonial type stuff. But you know, one of the words was empower.
Oh, wow.
This book really empowers people. My parents were educators. It empowers them to make their own decisions, to really live a millionaire lifestyle as a Main Street person.
Most definitely, Jordan. I couldn't thank you enough. And Adam, thank you so much. To our viewers at home, the number to call is 888-462-7839, 888-462-7839, or grab your smartphone, click on the QR code at the bottom corner of your screen. You'll be scheduling your consultation with Adam and Jordan so they can get to know you one-on-one, and you'll receive a copy of the book and the Ripped Report. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We look forward to seeing you back 1 week from today on the Main Money Show, where Wall Street meets Main Street.